After details have been revealed of how the new Hong Kong security law will look like, the Group of Seven, or G7, have made a statement urging China not to go through with it. Over a year ago, when the protests went on in Hong Kong, the Hong Kong people won the fight against the Chinese government about the Chinese government being able to extradite people from Hong Kong to China. But now reports indicate that China might be sneaking that law into the new, much debated security law. The details of the new security law is being talked about right now in Hong Kong Congress, and while most of it is confidential, some parts of it is not. We will talk about what we do know so far and why it made the G7 nations make a statement urging China to reconsider. All of that coming up in today's video. Alright, so the National People's Congress, or NPC, is meeting up for 3 days starting today. In these 3 days, they will be deciding exactly how the new security law will look like. So we found out some details, and even though most of it is classified, some of the things that we do know about can be found in this The Guardian article. China tables draft Hong Kong security law in sign it intends to rush legislation. Draft resolution clarifying 4 major offenses put before top lawmaking body, state media reports. Beijing has tabled a draft of the Hong Kong national security laws before its top lawmaking body, indicating it intends to rush through the contentious legislation which promises to drastically increase Chinese control over the semi-autonomous region. State media reported the draft law was put before the Standing Committee of the National People's Congress, charged with drafting the law for a 3-day session beginning on Thursday. Typically, bills should go through 3 rounds of deliberation by the NPC committee, a process that could take 6 months but can be shortened if special sessions are called. Chinese officials said last month that the laws would be implemented without delay, and state media reports have said it could be enacted within 1 month. The report by the state news agency Xinhua gave little detail on the draft but said it clarified the 4 major offenses, including secession, subversion of state power, and terrorist activities, and the associated penalties. Alright, so keep that in mind. I just want to take one more section from here. This week, all G7 nations issued a joint statement expressing deep concern about the laws and urging Beijing to reconsider. In response, they were met with a sharp rebuke and indignation by the Chinese Foreign Ministry and were told to stop interfering in Chinese affairs. China's determination to push for a national security law in Hong Kong is unshakable. China's top diplomat Yang Jiechi, I'm not good with names, told the US Secretary of State at a bilateral meeting on Thursday. China resolutely opposes the US interference in Hong Kong affairs and the G7 foreign ministers releasing a statement on Hong Kong, he said. Under the 1997 joint declaration signed by Britain and China at the handover of Hong Kong, the city was guaranteed 50 years of a high degree of autonomy under the one country, two systems principle, and governed by its own mini-constitution, the Basic Law. You see, Hong Kong is supposed to enjoy a high degree of autonomy from China for 50 years. Now you can kind of understand why China would want to keep a very sharp eye on a small state like Hong Kong that lies within the bigger body of China. It makes sense, but this new security law goes against everything that the agreement was founded upon. Furthermore, a few statements from Hong Kong officials have made it very clear that the new law could allow China to actually extradite people from Hong Kong to China. So take a look at this. Extradition to mainland China may be possible under new Hong Kong national security law, says city's representative on country's top legislative body. Within the article, this is what it says. The suggestion on Wednesday from Tam Yu Chung, I'm laughing because I don't know how to pronunciate the names, so bear with me, who sits on the National People's Congress Standing Committee, was a further elaboration of a statement by Deng Xianghua, Deputy Director of the Cabinet-level Hong Kong and Macau Affairs Office, that Beijing could reserve jurisdiction over cases in very special circumstances when applying the new legislation. This came as Yui Xiongming, spokesman for the Legislative Affairs Commission of the NPCSC, which is preparing the new law against acts of secession, subversion, terrorism, and foreign interference in the city's affairs, said the apex body would speed up its formulation. Tam said extradition could be an option and the central government had the right to do so. He added, if Beijing found it necessary that the case should not be handled by Hong Kong courts, extradition could be an option. These words, in special cases and could be an option, should be very concerning to the people of Hong Kong. The Chinese government is basically saying that they won't do it unless they will. I'm telling you, this will lead to a lot of people from Hong Kong accepting the deal that was recently handed out by the UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson to all people with BNO passports within Hong Kong. I won't go too much into detail about that, but if you're interested, yesterday I made a video, which I will put a link to up here, about Hong Kong citizens with BNO passports who are able now, through this offer the UK Prime Minister gave, to actually move for 12 months to the UK and in that way gain citizenship in the UK. That goes for all BNO passport holders in Hong Kong. Alright, so all of this has led to all the nations in G7 to sign a statement. They are urging China not to go through with the law if it in any way takes away from Hong Kong's independence to China. The statement is pretty short, so I'm just gonna read it with you right now. We, the foreign ministers of the United States, Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, the United Kingdom, and the High Representative of the EU underscore our grave concern regarding China's decision to impose a national security law on Hong Kong. China's decision is not in conformity with the Hong Kong Basic Law and its international commitments under the principles of the legally binding UN-registered Sino-British Joint Declaration. The proposed national security law would risk seriously undermining the one country, two systems principle and the territory's high degree of autonomy. It would jeopardize the system which has allowed Hong Kong to flourish and made it a success over many years. Open debate, consultation with stakeholders, and respect for protected rights and freedoms in Hong Kong are essential. We are also extremely concerned that this action would curtail and threaten the fundamental rights and freedoms of all the population protected by the rule of law and the existence of an independent justice system. We strongly urge the government of China to reconsider this decision. So I've been covering Hong Kong in some of my videos for quite some time now, and it's really sad to see the people of Hong Kong beginning to lose some of their semi-independence. I do want to be fair and say that I do understand why China is doing what it is doing. Hong Kong is among the top 10 in both import and export of states in the world, so you can understand why China would want some kind of control over what's going on. I mean, can you imagine any other superpower, or any other country for that matter, who would have a small state within themselves with that much traffic and have no control over it whatsoever? I mean, that probably wouldn't happen, right? But we do all want to see Hong Kong be free and live in the version of democracy that they have right now. Well, it's complicated, as always. And as always, I would like your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll make sure to respond to you guys. Also, remember to subscribe to my channel if you like this video. I'll make sure to update you guys on news as they are coming out. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.